Hello, hello. Welcome back. It's Chef Neil and the Culinary Chemist. So I'm real excited today because we're going to be talking about science in the kitchen. I mean real science this time, and you're going to see our stock from Basics episode 1 that we made earlier. We're going to turn it into a consomme. What is a consomme? Consomme is a full-flavored clear broth or clear stock that's used in very refined dishes. So we're going to put this together. It's a little bit advanced, but I think you can do it. Okay, let's have fun. Here are our ingredients. We're going to start with the mirepoix, which is going to be, again, it's less of an amount, but a same version as we had before: onion, celery, carrots. 2-part onion, 1 part celery, 1 part carrot. And also we're going to have a tomato that we're going to add. 1 part tomato, it's going to be added into here. All right. And we also have roughly a pound of chicken, ground chicken. Salt and pepper to taste. We have a sachet, same as before, as in episode 1 of Basics. And of course our stock. And we're going to need eggs as well. Eggs. Where are the eggs? Eggs. Somebody grab me an egg. Toss me an egg. Got it. Okay. And those are the ingredients. Alright, so here's our stock. And the stock right now is cold, so it's accumulated a little bit of fat on top. And then if you look down here, you'll see all this sediment. We're going to use this process to remove all the sediment and fat and get a crystal clear consomme. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, right here we have about 2 quarts of stock. We're going to take about 1.5 quarts, and I'll give you the measurements on everything as we add it. So 1.5 quarts of the stock is going to go in. We're going to use 1 pound of lean chicken ground, okay, because it's a chicken stock, so we're going to be using ground chicken. If you were making a beef stock, of course you'd use a ground beef. We also have our mirepoix with the tomatoes added, and those are diced tomatoes. And the mirepoix, remember, is onion, carrot, and celery, and we're adding the diced tomatoes in this case. So it's 2-part onion, and then you add 1 part carrot, 1 part celery, and 1 part tomato, diced tomato. Okay, we're going to add that into the stock. We're going to take our pound of chicken, mix that in. Next, we're going to separate some eggs. All right, let's separate these eggs. And a good trick to separating the eggs is crack them on a flat surface, not on an edge. If you crack them on an edge, you usually get shells. If you crack them on a flat surface, it makes it much easier. And I just want to show you that I have this nifty tool that my good friend Britt got for me, and this is an egg separator. You can either put the egg in the bowl and catch the yolk, or you can crack the egg right inside. It works great. There we go. Look at that. Nice and clean. That's 1. We're going to be using 3 eggs, 3 egg whites. There we are. 2, and 1 more. And there are our whites. You want to beat the whites. All right, take those egg whites and you want to whisk them. Just get them a little bit fluffy. Okay, those are going to be incorporated into the stock, all the ingredients, and then you want to mix everything together. Get that meat broken up, and then finally, once everything is mixed well, just season it with salt and pepper to taste. And now we'll take this over to the stove. Okay, normally you'd use a regular pot for this, but for demonstration purposes I wanted to use a clear loaf pan so you can see the process And you want to get all that into your pot. And we're going to put the heat on high. We want to get it to a boil, but just to a boil. We don't want it to boil over. We just want to get it nice and hot. So we're going to let that cook, and then we'll show you the progress. Okay, so our product is heating up, and you're starting to see how the egg whites will start to coagulate. And once they coagulate, what's going to happen is they're going to create a bed, basically. It's called a raft, R-A-F-T. And once that raft forms, it's going to rise to the surface and take all of the sediment with it. So in a minute or two, we're going to see that raft coagulate and form, and we can watch some magic happen, some real science in the kitchen. I want to bring this to a simmer. And we'll go ahead and put this in time lapse so you can see the progress. Now you can start to see where that raft is forming, and it's pulling up all the sediment, and you're getting a very clear broth. What's recommended now is to pop a little hole in the top of the raft and collect some of that consomme and baste it. So we've made a little hole up here. I'm taking our clear consomme and we're just basting it. Once you've gotten the raft to start, you can put the sachet in and let that sit in there for a while. And then the next step is to remove the raft and strain it, but let it cook. It needs to cook for at least half an hour. So we've let this cook for a while, and you can see that we've got a beautiful raft which has taken all the sediment out. Now we want to carefully remove this raft. What you can do is you can just strain it, but I like to take out a lot of the raft first. And this is all waste. It won't be reused, so you can discard. And once the raft is out, then you want to strain it through a cheesecloth. All right, so we have a bowl and a strainer, sometimes called a chinois, and then I have cheesecloth. And what we want to do is we want to strain that clear consomme. So you can put the cheesecloth in the strainer, like so. Sometimes I wet it, this way it sticks to the sides, it makes it a little bit easier, but this should work. Now we're going to grab our consomme, and we're going to very carefully pour and drain it through the cheesecloth to collect any small sediment that's left. I'm going to show you how to plate that up and how you can use that. So here's our final product. We put a little egg custard in the center, and we have a beautiful clarified stock called the consomme. And it's just beautiful, and you can always garnish it with a little bit of garnish. And voila! So that wraps it up for this episode. That was a lot of fun. We made a delicious consomme, and we want you to send your likes and please subscribe if you haven't already. This is Chef Neil for the Culinary Chemist. Wait for it. Where art meets science in the kitchen. Bon appetit!